Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to our Tuesday Empowerment Call. This is Kim Hui coming to you live. I am currently in the iconic hotel in Scottsdale, at the Biltmore Hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I want to welcome you and thank you for plugging in. Thank you for coming on today, wherever you might be, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So in the case might be right now, I'm in Arizona. So it's 5 o'clock right here. And so I want to welcome you. As I was watching the little trailer right before that, I truly feel that the stars have aligned and that we are truly coming together to doing something bigger than ourselves and to really to lead a life of purpose. And so I want to welcome you to our every Tuesday, a Tuesday Empowerment. And so today's topic is quite interesting and quite exciting for me to share actually at this point in my life and in my career. And that topic is the source of abundance, right? And so there's a lot of stories I could share with you, but what I want to do is maybe I want to tell a little background story of how I came about and what I've realized the last 30 years. And I want you to picture this 30 somewhat years ago. Well, now 40, but when I started my working career, when I graduated from college, I was an accountant. Okay. As an accountant many years ago, I was making 30,000 a year as an accountant, working a job to now fast forward. And then I began my entrepreneurship about 30 years ago. And so I want you to picture this from an accountant with a college degree many years ago now, maybe 40 years ago now, I would think. 40 years ago, graduate from college and then began my career. And now fast forward that 40 years later and 10 years in corporate America, and then 30 years as an entrepreneur. And fast forward that 30 years later to have the blessing and the opportunity at a point in my life right now to really truly get to lead a life of purpose. And so, and that journey had taught me a thing or two about abundance. And so today's topic it's really near and dear to my heart. It's the source of abundance. And in that, I'm going to summarize it in such a way that to me, it is the spirituality of business. Because in any business, when it's done right, it's like a dance between business and life. And in between, the alchemy of everything else in between. So with that, let me kind of share with you what I realized is that I'm sure many of us have heard that before, or we heard that there's been talks in the past that says success were really created 3 times. Okay. Success is created 3 times. First time it's created, it's in our imagination. First, you got to imagine our success. So success was first created in our imagination. Second time it's created, it's on paper. Or nowadays with technology, people will put it on digital, on the phone or on iPad, or type it up. So that's the second time to create success. And the third time success is created is through action, is through actually doing the work in manifesting, bringing that, the actualization of the things that you had imagined, the things that you had thought about, and then you have written down on paper. But the third time it's created is through action. And so I would say this is what I realized, that, all these years in school, in college, and in society, I really think that we got it all reversed. We often talk about physical, mental, and spiritual, right? So actually, in reality, it's actually reversed. We've been taught like the physical, mental, and spiritual. And in actuality, in my opinion, it's actually the reverse. First is spirit, right? Spirituality. Second is mental. And third is physical. Okay. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by spiritual? Like spirit, what is imagination? Imagination is having the spirit to go and have that creativity to go create a life in which you want. And so a lot of times when people coming in the business or in this platform, they are so busy on message out. But when they need to really hone into in spirituality, the word is so, whatever. So I would say this, it's like the spirit of imagination. giving yourself. And how do we tap into that? And the beauty about that, the imagination, is we as humans, God has given us this beauty, this creative things that we can go imagine. Like with the AI, with computers, that's something that they don't have. But we as human beings, that we have the ability to go imagine, go create. And so the first thing is spirits, right? And second thing is mental. Well, what does that mean, mental? Well, mental is like things that mindsets, belief system, thoughts, things that we put into our head, right? So that's the second part, mental. And so the beauty of these things that we can work on. And the third part of doing this, like I said, the third time we go create success is physical, right? So what is physical? Physical is our action, things that by doing it, right? So you have the imagination, that because through imagination, it creates that feeling, right? You create that feeling. From that feeling, then it triggers thoughts, right? We have this thoughts. They go, wow, okay, from this imagination, I feel good. And then from that feeling good, it triggers thoughts, right? So from thought, it leads to words, the words that we're spoken out there. We speak it out to the universe, right? And from the words, what happens? We go out there and from the thoughts, we go and make words, right? But with words, it will lead into action. And with action, what does it create? Action creates habits, right? So this is actually a famous saying by a very famous Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, right? So he says, you know what? If feelings create thoughts leads to words lead to action create habit. And from habit, what it does, it builds character. And ultimately, from character, it leads to destiny. And I could tell you all this flow, and I just added to it before then is imagination. I added to it imagination and feeling. And literally this whole flow of imagination, feeling, thoughts, words, action, habits, character, and then destiny. If I were to sum up my career in this entrepreneurship of 32 years, that sums it up. And so to me, it's a fine dance. Business is a fine dance. This whole alchemy, it's truly, to me, it's spirituality. When you get to do the work that you love to do and making positive impact to society, that is spiritual wellness at its finest. And so coming back to this, so first, the first spirits, right? Having the ability to give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to dream again. What would that be? That spark of imagination, right? Second thing is, so from spirits, then it's mental, right? Mental is the things that we believe it to be possible. Now, of course, many times during our lifetime, like for me, many years ago, 30 years ago, I got laid off. I was downsized. So I certainly had some belief systems, some limiting beliefs that didn't serve me. And it took me years on this journey to uninstall or to delete and to reset those belief systems that didn't serve me, okay? So that's on the mental side, right? So the thoughts that we create. But the beauty about these two is that it's within our control. Well, actually, three is all within our control. First, the imagination, the spirits, right? Give yourself the thing to really to unhook this whole entire thing is to give yourself the permission to dream again, okay? So because when you have that spirit of imagination, it's energy that's created. When you have that energy, energy has this resonance, this different frequencies, right? With the different frequencies, that it creates vibration that are allowing you to draw and to attract things into your life. You might say, you know what? It's interesting, right? In this platform called Three. The same business platform, why is it that when people are doing this business, they have success? There's some are just in their trying days, right? Why? There's a major things that people don't talk about. And that is the energy, the energetic aspect of it. A lot of times, between me and this computer, okay, it seemed like two objects, but the distance between the two objects, there's an energetic feel that, these unseen forces, unseen by our eyes, and yet we're interacting with it every single day. And so do we want to hone into that? Absolutely. I just feel that the source of abundance, that is the beginning, that is the source, that is the origin of the abundance. It's your energetic signature of who you are, right? So from there, then it triggers mindset, mental, belief system. And so I really want to, if you get anything at all, really hone into this. I just feel that humanity, society, education system never talk about that. And yet, if you look to really, really study the people that have done something with their lives, that have created success, it always start with that imagination, that energy, that energetic signature who they are. If you were to out there to share about 3 platforms versus other people, the leaders that are having success in this business, they share their energetic message out there is very different. Why? Because we are mindful to work on that. So first, right, with spirits, right? And the second thing is mental, mentality, right? And mental. The third part is physical. Physical is in the doing, right? The activities. And so, now I want to talk about. See, a lot of times people come into an entrepreneur platform, all they focus on is how do I do it? How do I do it? Show me what to do. Do. Well, why is it that there are people that work really hard? They do, and yet results are not there. So we really need to go tune in to who we truly are. Who we truly are is that I am, besides this physical identity of what you're looking at, Chinese looking, American that's here talking, but we are a lot more than that. So I really hope that you hone in, give yourself the permission to dream again and to work on that. Okay. And so now there's these 3 things, right? Spiritual, mental, physical, rather than what most people, society taught us. It's physical, mental, and then spiritual. It's reversed. So I would say work on that first, your imagination, right? From your imagination, then your thoughts. Feed your thoughts. So how do we go and hone into those kind of stuff? Well, first, spiritual is give yourself the permission. The energetic who you are, you could work on. Nobody could do that for you except you. Okay. So work on that. And then mental. Well, what do? You want to read things, you want to study things, or look at things that uplift you, that inspire you. The thing is, I think I've done many, many trainings. And one of the trainings, I use the analogy of Native American. There's this old tale story of 2 wolves fighting. Okay. And which wolf wins is which wolf you feed, right? So every single day, there are good things happen, there are bad things happen, or not too good thing happen, right? So these kind of things we're toying with. It's what happens sometimes beyond our control, but what's within your control is what you feed into yourself. So the mindset you can feed into, right? So the third part I'm going to talk about is the physical part of it, the action part of it, right? So rather than just do, really go in and look at the other 2 major aspects of the business. One is your imagination, the feeling, the energy, who you are, what you wanted to accomplish. Second thing is your belief system. If there were belief systems that's very limiting, it doesn't serve you anymore, drop it, uninstall it, right? And so let's talk about the third part. Now, bring it down to the practical realm of the actualization from our internal world. And from our internal world, that's our imagination, our thoughts, and how to bring it about, to bring it to the external world of actualization and realization of the dreams and the thoughts and imaginations in our head. And that's through activities. And so I'm going to bring it to this platform in that I want to say this, and let's just say you have the right imagination, you have the right, mindset, but without activities, without action, little can come about. So what are some of the activities? I want to cover that. I want to take about the next 10 minutes to talk about activities. In business, when there's no activities, there's nothing. And so same thing with your business. If there's no activity, if you take no action, generate no activity, Nothing's gonna happen to your business. So I'm gonna help kind of like sum it up. There's typically 3 types of activities especially in this platform we're doing, right? So type 1 activities are what I call learning and growing. Okay, so these are the activities that we spend time on, maybe these Empowerment Tuesdays and a Monday calls or watch videos. These are things that we have to invest time in learning. So this is a type 1 activity. There are people who go, you know what? I plug into every training, to every event. How come my business is not there? Well, it could be a couple of things. One is their imagination, that message, the energetic that signature you're sending out. How clear are you on that, right? And so maybe you're plugging into every event, but those are training activities that you're learning and growing. So that's type activity number 1. Learning and growing activities, which is training, learning to expand our horizon, right? And so attending events. So that's type 1 activity, training and growing. Type 2 activities are activities that you invest time in building your business. Now, there are many, many calls in the channel you probably look at. There are, how do you go build a business? By sharing and exposing your contacts to this platform, by sharing about the product, the technology, the business platform, your mission, your purpose of why you're doing this. That's called business building activities. So without that, without these business building activities, there's no sales, there's no performance. So in order to actualize that, we need to have, type 2 activity, which is business building activities, right? And so type 3 activities that we do every day. I do these 3 types of activity. Type 3 activities will be supporting activities that once you have a team going, your role as a sponsor, as a leader, that you brought people into the platform, your role is to support them, to guide them how to become successful. What are the things that you can be of help? How can you guide them? How can you show them the way? So these are the supporting activities. So I would say this, if you're working on this platform, ask yourself, what activities are you doing? If you're only doing type 1 activity, which is, invest a lot of time in training, that's all great. Understanding that all those trainings, it's building you up. But now we need to build the checks, right? So to build it, you build different things. You build your knowledge base, you build your belief system, you build things that you grow as an individual. That's type 1 activities. Type 2 activities are business building activity, meaning you're talking to people, you're sharing the business platform with other people, you're sharing a product, the technology with other people, you're sharing your purpose of why you're doing this. Those are business building activities, right? So you need that. And the third type is when you have a team of people moving, doing the work, then you're in a supporting role. Okay. So every day you strike a balance. Sometimes you might be supporting your team and helping your team to talking to their partners, talking to their prospects and guiding them on, bringing them into the business platform, training them. Because the beauty of this platform is that you have the opportunity to not only, generate make money from your own efforts, but by you helping other people to become successful, by you guiding other people, supporting people on your team, you are actually getting an opportunity to get a leverage income of having a team to building a business. So 3 types of activity, right? Type 1, training. Empowerment Tuesday, for example, these are times that you invest in learning and growing, right? Learning the trick of the trade. And not only in the actual physical doing, but there is a whole energetic value of learning things that we didn't ordinarily learn from school or learn from society. So this is really one of the most exciting things for me in this platform is having the opportunity to share about this part of humanity. And so, okay, so the physical, why is it important to have activities? These 3 types of activity, all 3 are must. There are people that all they do is they do type 2 activity, building, recruiting, building, sharing. But, that might build their checkbook. But you want to, having your checkbook to build, but at the same time, you want to grow as an individual to truly go on this path of making an impact. So all 3 activities are a must in this business platform. Learning, growing, business building, And number 3 is supporting activity. So why are activities important besides the fact that it's out there to help to activities is the physical part of this 3-part thing, and everything's 3, right? And no pun intended. So the activity, why is it important through activity? Because through activity, through action, it creates, action creates motion. Motion creates movement. And so just like our physical body, when you have movement, it's much less chance of a disease, right? So you want to move, energy flows. So, like I was having a conversation earlier with a dear friend of mine, we were talking about, like in the beginning, like he was asking me, is that, why did these people become successful? Is that people became successful, besides the 3 things I talk about, is that they're constantly having activity, constantly having action. When the business is not where they want to be at, when the people that they brought on, they might not see the opportunity, or maybe they don't want to do the kind of work that you do, but they love the product, they came on, or they give you face to support you, and they stop. And in that case, what happened? What separate and distinguish someone that's become successful or someone that kind of lacked off is whether they will continue on this path with action. Because when you go out there and do action, the leaders that are achieving 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, regardless if their team were moving, they are moving. Because when you move, when you have that movement, it creates an energy. I want you to picture this like a dance floor. If we are a bunch of dancers on this stage of life, when you're dancing, that movement creates that it shakes off something. It vibrates, it shakes off things. And so sometimes the people that are sitting by the sideline watching you, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with this business? You said this business is so good. Maybe the person that you brought on, they didn't believe in the beginning. They didn't see it in the beginning, but they saw you. You are out there you are out there trekking. You are out there treading the water. You continue on your path. And that continuation sends a vibrational frequency to the people that are observing and watching. They're like, you know what? He's onto something. I don't know what he's onto, but he didn't quit. And there are times you will see the people say, you know what? I think I'm ready to activate. I think I'm ready to look more into detail, into depth of what this business is. Why is this person so gung-ho? Even when in the face of when I didn't get engaged, when I didn't move on, he is still moving on, or she is still moving on. That is what the power of what action brings to your business. And so in a nutshell, I hope that I'm able to articulate, the 3 things that are so important. The spirits, the spirits of who you are, the spirits of giving yourself the permission to dream, giving yourself permission to imagine. Imagination is free. It won't cost you a dime. Try it out for size, okay? So imagine, because through that imagination, it just triggers a feeling. So I want to say this. Well, there's a couple of things that you could do, okay? My hair's a little staticky in Arizona. So, okay, there's a couple of things you could do. Number 1, what I would recommend is that number 1, give yourself permission. Number 2 is so important. We feed ourselves, rather than feeding ourselves with news and stuff. I don't even watch television no more. So you feed yourself with positivity. You feed yourself of things and informations and knowledge that feed your soul, that uplift you, that inspire you. So that's what you do. I mean, that is a major part. To me, it's not a major part of business. It's a major part of life. Feed things, to feed information that will uplift you, that inspire you. And last but not least, surround yourself. Our surrounding is ultra important, okay? Surround yourself in a global community that collaborate with each other, that uplift one another. And then with that will inspire you to positive action. And so when anytime you hear something, you saw something that didn't serve you, ask yourself the question, are those things serving me? If not, don't even feed it in your brain. I am super mindful of what I put through my eyes, what I put through my ears. I am super ultra mindful. And people that work closely with me, they know that. And so why? Because I need to protect my field. things that I want to let in my life. Because what are we here to do? We are here, to me. 3 is yes, it's a business platform, but it's a lot more than that. It is the ultimate, when you do it right, it's the ultimate spiritual dance between life and what is. So anyway, I hope this training has been helpful to you. I always like to keep it within 30 minutes. And so those 3 things, right? I'll remember what Lao Tzu said, right? The famous Chinese philosopher, right? He says, from thought, it makes words, it leads to action, then it creates habits. What does habit do? It builds character, and character leads to your destiny. But to me, I will add 2 things before that. It starts with your imagination. Imagination triggers that feeling. From that feeling, then you will have the thought. And so this truly has been my journey of 30 years of that source of abundance that the universe has to offer. Think about this. We all live on this planet Earth right now, in this dimension right now. But look at, what do you choose to surround yourself with? And ultimately, I want to talk about really manifesting that which is. And I want to say this. Today I'm out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I had to do some meeting and do some errands. And so as I was out here, and I know that I had to do a training. And I'm like, okay, where can I do a training when I'm out and about? I'm not in my office. And so I was telling my friend Gary, I said, Gary, I wanted to find a place that has a private room, maybe go to a restaurant with a private dining room. And Gary goes, well, let's go to this iconic hotel, at Biltmore, right? In Scottsdale. But then we have to find a private room. So as I was roaming around in this restaurant, guess what I found? I found a private dining room. I don't know if you could see. Frank Lloyd Wright design. So anyways, manifesting what's in you. This private dining room came right before I found it. It was already created in the head. I seen it in my head. So same thing goes with life. So I wish everyone an incredible day. Remember this, 3 types of activities. If you're spending time learning and growing, awesome. You want to create success in business, got to do the business building activities, right? And then you want to have a team that's expanding, that's growing. We also got to do supporting activity. In order for you to support your team, you have to grow as an individual. So with that, I'm signing off in Scottsdale. We're going to do some bougie stuff and having dining experience in Scottsdale tonight. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you guys next time in our Empowerment Tuesday. Thank you.